Okay, guys. Welcome to an episode of Tips and Tricks. We're gonna go into more of Rob's actual loadout, but there's one piece that I really wanted to point out for you guys because it's something that I think is a very good cheap alternative to blending into the forest that doesn't cost you 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, or even hundreds of dollars and a lot of time to do. This is Rob's, I call it his Camo Cape. And it's really, really good, effective way of blending into his surroundings. All right, now, just so you guys, because I know I'm going to hear a bunch of stuff from people in California when they watch this video. We live in Jersey, in North Jersey, and by New York and Pennsylvania. And if you don't know what the terrain is like that, it's very woodland-oriented. There's a lot of brush, a lot of long grass, a lot of shrubs, a lot of trees, a lot of greens, browns, and not blacks, but dark, whatever it is, dark brown. But the thing is that Rob is also, he's 5'4", and he's shorter. So he's shorter and he has this, and he's able to blend in perfectly with his environment. All right, I'm not saying that if you were to get this in all tan and you put it in the woods, I mean, you put it in the desert where there's no cover at all or anything to blend in, it'll work just in your favor. But it works for Rob very, very well because Rob is actually able to take this material and go by a bush and a bunch of long grass and just pop a guy, and then go back down and no one sees him. We've had more times where he was behind enemy lines and we couldn't find him than I can count. Even when we were on indoor facilities. We used to play at a place called Striker. Those of you guys
not that this would make any difference.
Not that that would make any difference. But Rob's a smaller guy, so he's less likely to be targeted. Like, I stand out. I'm freaking 6'1". Rick is 6'4". Like, when he goes through the woods, when he tries to blend in with his ghillie suit, if he stands up straight, he looks like a walking tree. Like, that's literally it. That's all he looks for. But this is a great, cheap alternative for camouflage. You guys see a lot of, like, I know Level Cat just did a video on how to build a ghillie suit. This is a great alternative if you don't have hundreds of dollars to invest in building a ghillie suit in 30 hours worth of your time.
This, pretty much, the material it took to make this, I bought it at Walmart. So you can get different types of materials for, like, bed sheets and whatever. And basically, this whole thing cost me $10. And that's everything that, you know, to sew it and everything. And it's just, literally, the better, you want to buy more material than you would need, because, like, you could always cut it. If you get too little amount of material, then, you know, then you end up being, it's too short or whatever, or it doesn't fit, and you can't add more to it, really. It makes it harder to add more to it. So just buy, you know, like 7 or 8 feet of this stuff, and it's literally one stitch right through the middle here that acts as, like, and it makes it into, like, a poncho. Now, the great thing is with this is that it's not, like, really truly a poncho. It's more of, like, a cloak. So, like, I can wear it like this when I want to stay hidden, and it covers up my whole upper body and my arms and stuff. Or if I need more mobility or, like, more dexterity with my gun, I can pull it back like this, and it becomes more of a cape. So it still covers the back of me from behind, but I can still have the movement and the freedom with my weapon.
And this is also going to sound like a stupid point, but this actually works. Is Rob's got light brown hair and a beard and all that kind of stuff, and it actually looks like some of the shrubbery that we play around. Where Rob actually, when he's laying down, he doesn't have anything protecting his head. Like, he'll have goggles, obviously, and a camo hat. But he really does, when he lays down flat on the ground and he's got his cape over him, you really can't tell where he is, even when you're walking. Because even his hair looks like, and Rob has very nice, luscious locks, I apologize. But it really does blend in with where he is. So it works very effectively, and it's like you said, it's less than $10. If you know how to sew, that's fantastic, especially if you have a sewing machine. And it doesn't take up a lot of time. It takes a little bit of time, if that. And another great thing, too, and we're going to get into this when Rick brings his equipment, and we'll show you that. General Mills has his own little camo setting. You guys ever see that camo netting that you put over stuff like radios and things like that? Remember where that one guy was? You can literally take something like that, sew it onto this, and now you have marks, like little, because it has holes in it, where you can put foliage in it.
Yeah.
And now, there you go. And that thing costs the same amount as this. It costs like $10. And it's a netting that has little holes in it. You could sew it into this, and then you can get the legit foliage from the area that you're in, and now you have a place to hold it in. And then you just, like, you can either zip tie, like branches and stuff to the holes, or whatever, how it works. And you even have better camouflage than you did before.
Yeah. And you, like, you know, when you're building a ghillie suit, like, you'll see guys come out with, like, these, like, you know, full-fledged ghillie suits that are, like, it's like this brown grass or, like, tan grass. It's not even in the woods, so it's like, they spent like $250 on like a legit ghillie suit that doesn't even match their terrain.
Yeah.
When like a real sniper or spec ops team builds a ghillie suit, they actually go wherever they're going to be operating, and they take the foliage from there to make it. And that's what you really have to do, is you have to take the foliage from wherever you're going to be. Otherwise, you're just going to stick out like a sore thumb.
Yeah, and that's definitely a big thing, guys. And again, I really hope that this tips and tricks video really helps you guys out, is because whenever it comes to doing this stuff, whenever it comes to doing anything with camouflage involved, you see a lot of guys that go above and beyond. There are a lot of people that use multicam. And now it's actually starting to get to the point where you have so many people that use multicam that it's just a multicam blob that just walks through the wilderness. And you can and it stands out a lot more. And you want to find something that's going to work for your environment, not try to find a camo that works for everything. Because yes, it helps a little bit, but in the broader sense, it's not going to help you in every single place that you're going to get. Rather than spending $100 on additional camo sets that you might not need, you can use a great base camo. Like, for example, I didn't mean to knock multicam in a bad sense. Multicam is great, but it's good as a base layout. So you can have something like multicam, like how instead of Rob has olive drab, if you could stand up, Rob, for the camera, so we can see you. Rob has multicam and he has tiger strikes. I love the captain pose. You clearly see that rather than spending all this additional money on additional camo sets, you can have a base camo set like that, and then you could spend $10 on something like this. And then you could use it to help blend in your surroundings more, which I think just works better.
I'd like to add also, the reason, you see all these guys that wear multicam or Marpat or like all these and everybody wears it. It's like every single person wears it. Right. So I mean, I hate to use like a Family Guy reference, but like that scene where like Peter's walking through the jungle and he's dressed like a clown. He's like, "You guys are stupid. They're gonna be looking for army guys." Well, it's like the same concept. I mean,
you guys are stupid. They're gonna be looking for multicam.
It's become so common within the airsoft community that people are now looking just for like Marpat people or like multicam people. So to have something different like Tiger Stripe, or I have like for my desert cam I use ATAX, or like using something like that. Anything.
Which I love that, by the way. ATAX pants are awesome.
Or even like using the old fashioned like just woodland like camo that like friggin' gorillas in
Colombia use.
Yeah, in Colombia use. Like it's just
no disrespect to Colombians.
Just to be like different and like so. Because people aren't looking for that. They're looking for people that are wearing multicam or Marpat or the ACU stuff that the Army wears and stuff. So
another good thing to add to that is, again, you want to do it if you're going to be legitimately serious about camouflage. I'm going to make this perfectly clear. Neither one of us have military or law enforcement experience. We only have airsoft experience, and we've seen how it works on the airsoft field. That's it. That's all we know. So, and also we're both history majors, and we do our research in weapons and tactics and camouflage and all that kind of stuff.
He's a history major.
He just loves history.
I just know about history.
So
I'm not a major of history.
Yeah, true. Not that makes us experts in any way, shape, or form. But the one thing that I've noticed whenever we go to the airsoft field is Rob's absolutely right. You start to notice something more. And I'd much rather, if you're going to use camouflage, use it. Don't just it doesn't matter if you're going to just go in the field and you're like, I just like how this looks and I want to play. That's great, fine. Yeah, if you just like multicam or you just like Marpat and you really could care less about blending in, do that. Go for it. I was running around in this and my freaking paintball Marpat pants, and I had a contour cam. And I wasn't I kind of blended it for a while. But but that's just how much grass there was by where we were playing. But eventually people saw that I had a camera, my contour camera, that has this little tiny dot. It was a red light. So literally the guys were like, "Hey, what's that light bulb doing in the middle of the forest?" And then they shot at me. And then I just realized, it's how it goes. But if you're going to legit be serious about camouflage, you have to understand that camouflage is expensive. Okay, it costs a lot of money, especially multicam. Like if you try getting troop spec or 511 multicam shirts and pants, right there, that's like, the shirt alone is $76. I just looked at the price in Airsoft GI not that long ago. And then the pants is like $65. So you're already talking about, so it's over $150 right off the bat, just for the clothes. So if you want to do something where you're truly blending in, it's better to get something that works in most environments as a base, and that's it. So just getting like a multicam shirt or a multicam pants, yes, it'll be expensive, but then buying something like this that costs $10. And then just basically sewing it in. So now you have a good base that'll blend into 80% of the environments that are out there, and you can use something else that won't break the bank so that you can be more specialized when it comes to blending in environments.
Yeah, and this is by no means like what I wear. Like if there's snow, I have completely separate, like I said, stuff for if there's snow on the ground, or if we're playing in like a more dirt area or whatever, like. Or if we're playing in an urban, like if we're playing on, like go to Striker, we're playing on the indoor arena, I won't wear like this whole like get up because it's going to be useless and I'll just look like a jackass with that.
Can you guys see me over there? Yeah. That's
so it'll be useless. So you just want to like, my whole thing is utility over looks or whatever, like I'd rather like it be useful than it look cool.
Yeah. And that's why, like, for example, when you see General Mills has a lot of replica stuff on his armor sometimes and on his helmet. We barely have it. This is Rob's helmet. Like, for the love of God. This is Rob's helmet. Okay? It's got 3 patches, I'm sorry, and a fan. And that's it. It doesn't have the whole fake beacon thing, that friend or foe identifier. It doesn't have, like, a flashlight and all that kind of stuff. Not saying that stuff doesn't become useful. But, like, for us, like, Mills is in a whole other category, and he's in a whole other level than we are, and but he likes how stuff looks, and he likes how it looks very good, and he also wants it to work. But for the most part, he really likes how it looks. Especially multicam. He multicam everything. He even multicam his camera. I don't even know how he could do that. He multicam everything, but for us, it's more like if it's gonna work better, we'll take that over the looks.
Yeah,
we don't want the extra weight.
And as far as I'm concerned, when you're in the woods playing airsoft, invisibility is next to invincibility. If they can't see you, they can't hit you.
Yeah.
And we for years when we played, we used to have a friend named Ed who used to play with us, and he had a Echo 1 G3, and that thing was like a monster compared to the guns we had at that time.
Yeah.
And that kid, he would go,
which was like equivalent to throwing sticks.
Oh yeah, he would take out a whole squad of guys by himself, no problem at all.
Yeah.
Remember one time we were just walking through a field, all of a sudden like he pops up behind us, no one knew he was there, killed all of us in like one shot each, and that was it. He won the game. Yeah. Just him.
Shot me in the throat when I didn't even notice him on the floor, and he just had the right camouflage on.
And
then he stopped up and goes, "Bam!" I was like, and like literally, I just got hit right in the neck, and I was just like, I was blown away. I was like, where the hell did that come from?
Yeah.
So it's really, and again, we're not trying to knock any of our other teammates. This is what makes our team good. We have different people. Mills is a lot more operator based. Rob is a lot more. I guess like we're a lot more whatever we can get our hands on. But like we try to make everything work in what we're used to, what we like. I still don't know how Mills breathes in half the stuff that he wears. He puts so much, puts the chest rig on, the shirt on, the pants on, the helmet on, the mask on. Take him off, and he's paler than I am. Well, no, he's not that pale, but he's close. And like you literally see his head is just red. Like it's just his face is red. Like we're worried he's gonna die one day. Thank God he's in better shape than all of us combined. But that's like the main thing is that. You want to find what works for you, but you also want to be sure that if you're going to use it the right way, try to find something that you specialize in. Geez, we really turned this into a long video, but for the example with the cape, if you really want to use camouflage effectively, you don't need to break the bank to do it. This is something that Rob has used for a very, very long time. And literally the only other environment that we would use something else, other forms of camo that multicam or what Rob wears wouldn't blend in, is snow. Yeah. And Rob's already got a pair of urban bottoms, and you could just get a white T-shirt. Or not a white T-shirt, it's freaking freezing out there if there's snow on the ground. But like,
fuck it, I'll just wear a white T-shirt.
White! We're doing it! No, but a white long sleeve shirt underneath it, and then just have a white tarp like this, and boom, you're already blending in more than 75% of the people you're going to see on the field.
Yeah, and the thing is that most guys that play, at least on the fields that we go to, they only have the one camo that they use for airsoft. So like, even Mills, like he only has his one like suit that he uses. He doesn't like, so like if we're playing on a snowy environment, then half the guys are like, okay, that guy's there, bam, dead. That guy's there, bam, dead.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, like me and him or me or whatever, the guys that are wearing like the camo that blends in, it gives you more of an advantage on the field.
Yeah. Even if it's in a non forest form of environment, like even if it's just in this like CQB City where we usually play in Zulu 24, if you have white camo on and you're prone, like if you're like, because you see there's 3 ways you can go in CQB City. You go up the middle, you go on the left side of the buildings or the right side of the buildings. I literally saw a guy, we played a snow game once, he just went prone in the middle of the alley, okay, on the right side. next to the buildings, and he had nothing but white on, and it was a snow game. And he was just popping people, and no one could see where he was. His gun was wrapped, his whole body was wrapped, and nobody saw him. And he was right out in the open, and nobody saw him. So, you know, as long as you guys are... If you're going to do it, it depends, because there's two different kinds of airsofters that me and Jerry pretty much explained that are out there. There's people that are going to fix shit and do stuff themselves, and there's people who aren't. And if you're going to use something the right way and you're going to build it yourself, okay, make sure that it's going to be what you're going to need for the environment that's out there. And again, this is just a cheap trick that you can use that helps make your airsoft experience better, and you're not wasting hundreds of dollars on different camo sets. Right? Rob's urban pants that he had, I think, were like $30.
Yeah, they're cheap.
They're really cheap. But yeah, you got them online for some.
And most of the stuff, like a lot of people will go to like, you know, an Army Navy store, or they'll go to like an airsoft supply store, and I mean, not to say that you shouldn't support your local businesses, but you're always going to find something cheaper online.
Yeah.
And, you know, and I did get my Tiger Stripe. I have a Tiger Stripe pants and a jacket, which I didn't bring today, that I use, that I've got at the Army Navy store, and they were a little more expensive than what you would find online for the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, this olive drab shirt I probably got for like less than $10, again, online.
Yeah.
But, you know, that's just up to if you want to, like, you know, support your local business, or you want to like save some money.
Yeah.
You know,
and
you can do a combination
of
exactly, and you can do a combination of both. You know, if you're gonna go, you know, buy a pair of camo pants and they're, you know, $100 at your local Army Navy store, and you can get them for $50 online, obviously get them for $50. You know,
yeah. Even your local stores will tell you that.
Yeah,
like the place that we go to a place called In My Sights in Warren. And there'll be a bunch of stuff where we're like, dude, can you get this for us? And he's like, dude, just get it from this website. Like, if you get it from me, it's going to be like cost you 3 times as much.
And that's because they have to, you know, they have to make money too. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
They have a lot more overhead when you have a physical location than, you know, just ordering it from the warehouse.
Yeah. So just be smart about that. But again, this is a very, very cheap alternative for something to do. I know that there's a lot of people that are out there that want to get the legit gear, and trust me, I'm with you. I have an HSGI short rig. I have tacos. I have a Lacoste leg rig, which my friends got me for my birthday, and it's like my favorite birthday present ever. But it's you want to get that kind of stuff. But as far as this is concerned, as far as camouflages are concerned, you can find a lot of camouflages online, a lot of cheaper ones, and you can find a lot of cheap alternatives than just buying a full set or making a full life ghillie suit that's going to cost you $300-something. You know, just know your environments that you're going in. Know what you can do. Remember, this, like I said, this and that netting that I explained earlier, that's something that costs probably about a total of maybe $15. All right? And if you pretty much sew them together, you have a way of being able to take real foliage that's out there, that's on the field, whether it's desert or shrub or whatever, and then putting it through the holes in the net, attached to your base already, and boom, you're already more camouflaged than 75% of the people that are out there on the field. And they might make fun of you for it. But you know what? When you're sitting out there alone and they can't find you and you're popping people left and right, it's going to be a lot harder for them to make fun of you. I can't tell you that. There's this one game, I gave Rob my M4 because his gun broke. And I'm literally running through, and he literally, like, he got like 12 people. Like, legit 12 people before they finally got him. And after that game...
The funny thing was, like, we were walking out at the start of the game, one of my teammates goes, "Are you wearing a cape?" I'm like, "Yeah, man, it actually works." And he's like, "Okay, whatever." And, you know, I ended up, like, killing, like, easily 12 people. Yeah. And I was like picking off 3 guys at a time because they were all like grouped together as a squad, and I would be like boom, boom, boom. You know, before I killed the one guy, and before the guy even got his shot off to see where I was, he'd be dead.
Yeah.
And then, like, you know, the third guy would like kind of see where I was, shoot towards my direction, still not hit me because not know exactly my position. I would kill him.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the beauty of having the camo cape and whatever. Is that you literally become invisible if you're in a thick enough foliage. Yeah. You're literally invisible.
And then those people that were busted his chops were asking us, how'd you do that? Yeah. You know? So it's one of those things where it's not a matter of how it looks, it's a matter of how it works. Okay? And that's something that we believe in, and all of our teammates believe that. I know General Mills has some things most of all, but he really cares if it works. And, you know, and that's the way it should be. It shouldn't be... I mean, unless, like, again, it's all down. If you're going to get something, make sure that, like, it works effectively. And, you know, again, just make sure you know where you're playing. Know what the foliage is like. Know what the grass is like. Know that what you're going to get is effective. All right? And you'll see. You'll do so much better on the field. Hey, man, that's pretty much it. Guys, thanks a lot for watching this tips and tricks video. Just remember, Rob got this at Walmart. Okay?
$10.
$10. You'll find the netting there as well. I'll put a picture of the netting if I can get it. All right, you could get that too for around the same exact price. So you're getting something that's less than $20 on you. And if you basically sew that to this, and then you're able to wrap it around yourself, and then you use your own foliage in it. I've seen people use zip ties, where they literally zip tie. They put the sticks and the brush and everything in between the holes, and then zip tie it all together. That works. And like I said, you're already more blended in the forest than most of the guys that you're going to be playing against. All right. So if anything, drop your mags, clear your barrels. I'll see you next time on the field.